Bienvenidos y bienvenidas a un nuevo episodio del podcast oficial de EntreprenUp, Innovadores. Aquí Sebastián Aguiluz, cofundador y CEO de EntrepreNUp, y estoy con Andrea Loreni. Es un profesional forámbulo, es un líder motivacional y bueno, por el resto de la entrevista estaremos hablando en inglés, entonces pues perdón que lo tengamos que hacer así, pero pues si no nos quedamos sin entrevista, entonces pues nada, voy a darle la bienvenida a Andrea. Hi Andrea, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. Todo bien.
Perfect. Andrea, for people who are unfamiliar with you, could you tell us a little bit more about what you do?
Okay, I am a funambulist. It means I walk high and long wire, steel wire, using the balancing pole, and that is something different from the slack line. And I walk the wire since 18 years now. I take the degree in philosophy, theoretical philosophy, and about the end of the study, I started making street theater and performing art in the street, and then I specialized in the balancing on the wire. And it's about 8 years. I start to sharing my experience on the wire, my tools, and my way to face the unknown, to manage the fear, and make a deal with the risk. And sharing my idea during some motivational speaking and on the TEDx and some situation. I am a father. I have a daughter 10 years old, and yeah, mostly that's it.
Perfect. So, first of all, tell us the secret origin of how you started what you do, because I'm curious, how does someone end up being on a high wire across? I don't know, how tall have you been using a high wire?
I started with the street theater when I was maybe 24, something like this. And from 10 years, I perform on the street, making the low wire. It's technically is dancing the wire. It's a bit different. Till some organizer asked me if I do the high wire, and I answer not yet. So I start training on the high wire, and in 2006 I make my first walk across the Po River, close Torino. I was 31 when I made my first high wire walking act, and so I was fascinated by the street performing because of the relation you can create with your audience. It's a pretty easy relation, and more easy than normal. So it's nice to share emotion with people that you don't know yet, and that you will know for a very short time. But at the same time, this time is very dense. It's very emotional. So it's I was fascinated by it.
Perfect. Just for my information, and so the audience has some context, what is the tallest building or whatever you've walked across?
Yeah, the tallest was do you know the zip line where you slide down on a wire?
Yeah.
Okay, I walk on one of these zip line, and it was 300 meters.
Okay.
This was the highest, 300 meters. And the longest was 410 meters across a dam on the other side of the lake. There was the lake, there was the dam, and the empty side. I walked the empty side, and it was 410 minutes, and it takes 45 minutes to walk.
Oh, okay.
Last year, it was last year the longest, yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing it was a hell of a view. Well, Andrea, I want to ask you, because I see that you've included some Zen aspects about this, and well, you're Italian, so I was wondering what happened before. You became a Zen practitioner and then you started high wiring, or when as you got into high wiring, you changed your faith and your philosophy to include the Zen aspect?
Okay, already during the university, I was fascinated by the Japan philosophy, but I didn't practice it then. When I started walking the wire, I started making meditation, practicing meditation, because at the first wire I set up, I asked some help to a friend of mine that was a climber, so he knew knots and rope better than me. And this guy has just finished a Vipassana retreat, a 10-day retreat of Vipassana. That is another kind of meditation. But I started with Vipassana. I make the retreat, 10-day retreat, and then for 2 years I practice Vipassana. Then I say they talk too much. They really don't talk, but it was too much anyway. And so I keep to Zen meditation that somehow is more essential, is more about emptiness and silence and crossing the void. Later on, practicing Zen and practicing Funambulism, I realize that these two paths, they talk each other, they can dialogue, and so in a circular feedback, one helps the other, and so the meditation comes somehow more deep, and even my walking on the wire start to be some kind of more essential and we can say more and more authentic.
Perfect. I wanted to ask you because there's a couple of words that have been started to be in use for a while now in business, and most of our audience listens to us because of business, entrepreneurship, innovation, etc. But I think you could bring a fresh take because both of the Zen meditation part and also the literally being hanging over the sky. So I wanted to ask you about the word balance. When we talk about balance in business, we usually talk about balancing your professional and personal life, or we talk it about not about taking part of every single part of the company and not just some parts, and not making too much of something. But in your case, you literally need balance, not only to do your profession, but to basically don't fall and die. So I wanted to ask you, what is your philosophy about balance? Why do you think so many people are looking for our perception of balance? What do you think?
First of all, I think that maybe a lot of people are looking for balance because there is something like a misunderstanding. We are looking for something that is stable, from something that is clear, for something like we can say a safe ground to walk on. While balance is about not safe place, not the small place to walk, is about accepting and embracing and welcome everything that is new. So it's more about changing balance. And when I talk about funambulism, I think I'm not a master of balance. I am something like I can deal with unbalance. That's my point. And so me too, we are scared by something that is changing, that is the life, but we are looking for the opposite of life, just not to say that. Balance is about walking, is about moving, and it's about harmony, to find our way in the process. So it's something always changing, and we would like to take a break and have some rest, and it's okay. On the other side, there is something interesting about what you say about balance. We are looking, for example, for balance between our professional and our family, maybe, or between some two things that they appear different. And my point is that you can be a manager, and you can be a father, and you can be a lot of things, and they are not in one versus the other. they can work together if your point or my point, if our point is not one of these role, but is our being at the center of each role. If we develop our being, we can be great manager and great father and great podcaster and maybe cyclist, Sunday cyclist, or whatever we want to be. No, it's not about role, it's but about the people, the person at the central point of all this role. So to find a way to walk between two different things that can be appunto work and family, it's me. I'm in the middle, and so we need to work on ourselves to find the balance between something. We are the connection between our roles.
Perfect. I want to talk about another word that's commonly used in business, which is failure. And depending on the country you are, failure is perceived as, maybe in the United States, they even have a philosophy of fail fast, so that you can learn and do it better. In other countries like Japan, they have this philosophy to punish failure. And well, I'm not going to say who is right and who is wrong, but in your case, well, again, not to get so morbid, but if you fail during one of your walks, well, you probably won't have another chance. Or so,
yeah.
How do you manage the fear of failure during a walk? When, well, I can always fail as a businessman, but in your case, maybe failure just isn't an option.
Okay. Just to be clear, I work with no safety line. Sometimes I work with no safety line. Sometimes I work with safety line. In any case, if I fall, I will be injured, maybe deadly or not deadly injured. But anyway, there is a real risk to be. So I cannot fail somehow, but on the other side, I cannot think. I cannot think I'm not failable. I have to be aware of my weakness. To be aware that I can fall, because finally I can fall. It would be stupid to go on the wire thinking I am the king and I cannot die. You know, it's totally weird and unaware of what we are. So I take my risk with the knowledge of this risk. That's one point. Starting something that we want to do, knowing which risk. And knowing also that there are some risks that we don't yet know. So my point is to be available to my weakness, we can say, and to be flexible. That's a great point. When there is some risk, we can adjust ourselves. We can be moved by the risk. Hemingway say, "Courage is grace under pressure," and I love this quote because it means that the pressure can, how do you say? I don't know the name exactly. The pressure outside can inform our being, but on the other side, we are in the middle of the pressure. We are part of the contest we are in, and so with the knowledge of being there, we can harmonize ourselves and try to make another step. On the other side, I have to say that maybe 1 year ago, maybe a little more, I try to make a world record, a Guinness World Record, walking on the steepest wire. It was 39 degrees, and I failed. But I have a safety line, very, very, very safe, so I know I was not injured. But I failed. So the point was finally, at the beginning it was hard. I was very loosened when I sleep on the wire. I didn't know where I was. There was something falling in something white sky. And then the point was for me that despite the failure, all the time I spent, all this time I spent to train myself, to organize the stuff, to talking with the sponsor, and to knowing people, it was life. It was great life. And the value of our life is not about achieving goals. It's about living the life. So we can miss a goal, but if we enjoy, if we live deeply the process and the path toward this goal, yeah, we get something. Okay, we can or somehow we can skip all the life because we are totally focused on the goal, and reaching the goal is pretty nothing because we miss the life before the goal. So, and finally, our personal value is not about reaching goals. It's about walking the wire, walking the path through the goal. This is my thinking.
Hey, aquí Sebas. Perdona que te interrumpa el podcast, pero aprovechando que ya llegaste hasta aquí, quería pedirte que nos apoyes. Si estás en YouTube, dándonos like, dándole click a la campanita y suscribiéndote al canal. Y si estás en Spotify, dándonos seguir y calificándonos. Es totalmente gratis y la neta ayuda muchísimo para que podamos seguir trayendo nuevos invitados cada semana. Sigue innovando. Andrea, do you think you've learned how to embrace fear as a tool rather than an obstacle?
Yeah, I did. I did, definitely did. It was very clear for me at the beginning when I make my first step on the wire that if I want to walk the wire, I have to accept that I will be scared. I will need to feel fear. So somehow I make a deal. It's okay. I'm available to be scared because I want to walk the wire. And so I develop my way to stay with fear, to feel it, and to listen to fear. When I was in Japan, one day a guy asked to the master Arada Roshi, how can we deal with the pain that we are in the body during so much hour of meditation? And the master just say, get used. There is no technique to avoid pain. It's just about get used. Same for fear. I don't find a way to avoid fear, but during all this year with the fear, I get used. So I can be at 100% of my potential, even if I'm scared. I can walk the wire in spite of fear. So I can make my first step and all the other steps, and I can reach all my skills, even if I'm scared. That's the point. And it's about welcoming what there is in the here and now. And if there is a fear, okay, welcome fear. Stay with me and help me to be attentive. Help me to be very here and now, very sensitive. Because what I'm doing is dangerous. And thank you, fear, to tell me, watch out, it's dangerous. So, as you said, it's one of my tools. To be here, to be now, and to be with the present, in the present. To influence, I cannot control everything, but I can be in the center and influence what I have around. I think this is the best we can do.
Perfect. I'm guessing you need a lot of control, or at least the illusion of control, to do what you do. So, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs who feel like they're losing control of their projects?
That's good. It's a great point to lose the control, because when I think talking by my side, when I lose control, I lose as a small ego. I can have a very, very small control area of control. It's very small. If my horizon is very small, like it can be my ego horizon. If I lose it, I can accede, I can reach a bigger horizon. And so I can reach a bigger opportunity and bigger, how do you say, skills, we can say, but resources, bigger resources. So I think losing control is okay if we can jump on the bigger flow. When we are in the flow, we feel like we happen with the thing. We don't make things happen. We happen with the thing, with the flow. In this state, we can reach our best performance, our best way, because we skip our small ego, and we reach and we are with the process. And the process is very big. It's very big. We cannot have control on everything. I can choose which wire. I can choose with how many kJ put on the wire to tighten the wire. I can choose my balancing pole, how long, but I cannot choose if there is wind. I cannot choose if there is if people will talk loudly, or will clap, will whistle, or will stay in silence. No, I always say if you are looking for silence to meditate, you have a great excuse to avoid meditating, because you will never reach silence. So it's not about moving in the perfect condition, it's about moving in the condition we are. That's my point.
Sure. A lot of business leaders, Western business leaders, are starting to turn, or have turned, to inspiration in the Orient philosophies, religions, etc. Do you think Zen meditation helps leaders make better decisions?
Okay, yes, I think definitely it can help. But watch out, because sometimes we use maybe Zen meditation or Asian or Oriental philosophy, and we try to use it in our way. So somehow Zen is useless. If you want to use it, maybe watch out what are you doing. Maybe you are messing up something. So first of all, it's okay, because Zen meditation can help you to have the right to see on the present. You can see, you can know what's going on, even inside. So even on mostly inside you, and so you can see which part of you is talking, which part of you is pushing you to make something, a decision, or don't make something. Or anyway, and it's very useful, because you can see from which horizon come your act. And I said before, if you move from big horizon, your act will be big and will influence big horizon. If you move from a small horizon, that is our ego, for example, of just my personal interest, you will act in a small horizon. Maybe you will get something good for you, but not good, because it's not in the flow. It's something about maybe here we are close to the Taoism way to do with not doing, no? Doing with not doing. It's not about stay still, sitting all the day, because even sitting all the day is doing something. It's about from which sources is coming our action. And so I can Zen meditation or the Japanese philosophy or Buddhism can help us to put ourselves in a bigger place, in a higher place, so we can watch around us in a better way and have more consciousness of what's going on inside, but even outside. And so we can act by this perspective, by this place, with a big view. Just to say something about samurai, for example, my master in Japan, in one of his books, he wrote something about how can be the attention of the samurai. Samurai cannot focus on the sword of his enemy, otherwise he will be kicked, and even cannot be focused on the foot of the enemy, otherwise he will be slaughtered by the sword. his attention, his sight have to be so big to include, to reach the mountain on the back of the enemy, of our enemy. So we need big view, big horizon to be ready to face what is going on. That's my point. Do you get it? Was I be clear? Have I been clear?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. I'm guessing most people consider for you to be successful to go from point A to point B without falling. So I wanted to ask you if it was as simple as that, or if tightrope walking has taught you to redefine what success feels like for you. Is it still that simple, or do you still find success in different ways?
Of course, to go from point A to point B is our point, is our
Main goal.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah, and success, just in those days I'm talking about success. I don't know if in English is the same, but success in Italian is the same, that something that has happened.
That has what?
Same word, successo, it has happened 2 years ago. Successo 2 anni fa. Something that has, somehow was in the past, somehow that is finished. And so, even if you fall during the walk, somehow it's finished. So success is about making the time pass and to be known of the time is passing and you are developing or evolving. So maybe you can walk from A to B, even failing. If you keep on going walking, you know what I mean? You can fail. In Japan, they say maybe something like fall 7 times and wake up 8 times. So maybe the failure and can be part of the process, can be part of the success. And as I said before, if something is going good, if you leave it. If you skip the emotion and the life included in any kind of process, you are missing something. Otherwise, if you leave it and you enjoy it and you feel it, easy to say, easy to say. When it happens, it's very harder. But I think this is my idea of what can I be walking with success. Is welcoming everything and be alive in any moment of the walk. Can I add something? Because my work is about performing act, is about art, is about relation with the audience. And during the record attempt, in one way we can say it has not been successful because I fall, so I didn't reach the record. On the other side, by the side of the show, by the side of the art and the performing art, it was one of my biggest and most important work because the feeling, because I reach the people emotion and we share emotion. All the people was in the square was with me and was even sad and even how do you say, maybe somehow was even angry. So we share emotion. And so it was successful, very successful by the art side. By the sport side, it was not a success. So it depends even from which point you are looking at something. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. I want to go back to another word that we use a lot in business, and I think it has a different meaning in your profession, which is risk. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think, or what would you recommend to people standing on the edge of taking a big risk in their careers, in their business, etc.? And how do you live with risk as a factor?
So somehow I think that I take some risk walking the wire that is not so different from riding my bike or staying talking with you, because maybe some really can be my last minute here on the earth. because we don't control everything. Something will happen, can happen in a minute. So it's about existential risk that we are always taking. But we can think we don't face, we don't have this kind of risk. We can hide this existential risk, and we think we are immortal. So first of all, I think we need to make a deal with risk if you want to live. We need to know that we can have some risk, and we need to know that we need to take some risk because we cannot avoid them. So this is the big frame about risk. On the other side, to be aware of this risk can put you on the straight, so able to walk. And for people on the edge, I will recommend them to breathe, to be deeply connected. It means to be able to reach all the skills and to reach all the capacity to face the risk. But at the same time, make a thing that you can file. And the question is, what will happen if I will fall? Really, what will happen? Deeply. And so maybe it involves how you consider your career, your next step in the career. Maybe this risk is not your death, not physically, but even in your role. If you are ready to face the risk, and if you are ready to face the failure, I think you can walk safely.
Perfect. Andrea, to start wrapping this up, the last question we always make is 3 do's and 3 don'ts for entrepreneurs. Basically, 3 things you think they should do and 3 things you think they shouldn't do. So what are your 3 do's and 3 don'ts for entrepreneurs?
So I think entrepreneurs are as well people. So it works for entrepreneurs and it works for people, but we are talking about entrepreneurs. So I think, but maybe I would like to open some dialogue with some entrepreneurs, but my idea is big horizon. So climb up and have a big horizon. We talked before about having big horizon, and so put our action in the flow, in the big flow. So look at the mountain behind the enemy. Don't focus on the enemy. Okay? That can be one point. On the other side, I think take care of people and the relation with people around you. Okay? I'm on the wire. I am alone on the wire, but I need and I want to thank all my team that can allow me to be on the wire. And I trust them totally. I want to thank them. I want to be, we can say, very close to them, as close they are to me. So, team, we are alone. Maybe somehow we are the front man, but we are not alone. And so take care of people around you. And on the other side, more or less the same thing, is be kind and be gentle, because I know Davide Carrera is a free diver, one of the most strongest free diver right now. He's one of the world champion. And when he go down in the sea, he told me he thanked the sea, because if you want to fight with the sea to reach 1 meter more, you will lose, because the ocean is too big. So ask gently to pass. So it's okay, reach your goal, go your way, but be gentle. That's another point. On the other side, what I suggest not to do is not act under rage or under hate. It's not about avoid emotion. It's about watch out when you are acting and making decision lead by hunger or rage or hate. Wait. Wait a minute. On the other side, please don't identify yourself with the goal, with the achieving and having. No, we are in the center, and reaching something is about the path. It's not about our value. Is not same thing that which goal we are reaching. Okay, it's right. It's okay. It's not about identification with the goals. And then last one, don't lose sight of the process. We consider that we are always in something that is flowing, always in the process. And so remember that we are in the process. Don't lose sight of this big river in which we are of which we are part of. Yeah.
Perfect. Andrea, if people wanted to get in contact with you, I don't know, for any kind of thing, maybe sponsor your walks or invite you to give a guest lecture or whatever, how can they find you on social media?
They can find me Andrea Loreni. I am on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and otherwise on my website is ilfunambolo.com. But if you check Andrea Loreni, you will find something.
Perfect. Well, Andrea, I want to thank you a lot for your time, and as we say on this program, keep innovating. Muchísimas gracias por haber llegado hasta el final del episodio. Espero que lo hayas disfrutado. Si te gustó, literalmente contamos con cientos de episodios donde invitamos a gente chingona de todo el mundo con todo tipo de profesiones para compartir su historia y donde cada semana encontrarás a nuevos invitados. Si nos quieres compartir lo que pensaste o sugerirnos nuestros invitados, la sección de comentarios está abierta y nuestros datos de contacto están en la descripción. Sigue innovando.